Welcome back to the Fate of Drakkenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly D&D 5th edition actual play campaign. My name is Monty Martin, running this campaign as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Sebastian Crow, the half-elf shadow sorcerer, and we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill Denitis playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe O'Gorman playing Pluto Jackson, the Human Battlemaster.
Thank you for joining us once again. If you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. We are the Dungeon Dudes, and Kelly and I put new videos out on YouTube all the time where we talk about everything D&D and TTRPGs, including advice for players and guides for GMs. So check the links down below, or hit us up on YouTube to watch all the latest content.
You can also join us on Tuesday evenings when we broadcast the campaign on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
And with that, let us find out the fate of Drakkenheim.
Drakkenheim is no more. The devastation which fell upon that accursed place left a kingdom in ruin. Now, horrors lurking in the haze grow ever more great and terrible, while simmering tensions between rival factions boil over into outright war. The power of monarchs, mages, and priests hangs in the balance. 6 unlikely heroes join forces to confront the coming chaos. They shall decide, once and for all, the fate of Drakkenheim.
When last we left our heroes, Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto, as well as Wilhelm, Rudy, and Wrath, had concluded their business in Helig. Having found what the Duchess Sophia von Sneestrom was seeking, and now with Wrath carefully clutching the cat's eye gem in hand, our heroes have concluded their business with the Duchess Sophia and cemented the alliance and the allegiance of the northern forces of Westamar, despite the interesting concessions regarding the magical abilities of Sophia von Sneestrom and her connections and knowledge of Katarina von Kessel, aka the Queen of Thieves. With all that arranged, a message arrives to Sebastian from River, a sending spell. River says, "Here with Eldrick and Elias, eagerly awaiting your arrival in Altbrook. Let us know how things went. See you soon."
We're already on our way to Altbrook, or have we left Helig yet at this point?
No, at this point, your affairs in Helig are winding down. With your return from the quarry and your previous adventures, you're able to say your goodbyes to the dwarves who you rescued as they make their way back to Ironhelm Ridge. Their numbers greatly depleted. Any supplies that you might need for the next leg of your journey are fine. However, as you're receiving that message, Reyna does approach you, Rudy, wanting to catch up, but she also mentions that wherever you're off to next, she'd be happy to help bring you there.
I mean, that would be amazing. Thank you, Raina. I'd love to spend a little bit more time if you want to join us on our way to Altbrook. I think it'd be fun.
Reyna says, "Well, Mom, yeah, I can... You've noticed that I've figured out a few tricks of my own over this time, and I can kind of open a gateway through plants to anywhere I've been before. And I was only in Altbrook a couple months ago with Corbin, so I could bring you there."
Corbin was there?
Yeah, well, we both left home, and Corbin wanted to go to school in Altbrook.
All right, okay. Makes sense. Children leaving the nest and such. And I mean, at first I was a bit surprised seeing you here, but Corbin, really? Okay.
I mean, you've been very busy, Mom, and it's not like you call very often. So, with me and Corbin, we've been trying to figure out our way, and sometimes, it's just like, you don't want Mom and Dad to worry, because you two, sometimes it's just like, if we're not like our other brothers and sisters that are just happy to start families and stay in Tear Haven. And it seems like sometimes that's all you and Dad want for us. But there's a big world out here, and it's a lot of fun if you're willing to risk it.
I understand. I mean, y'all take after me in that sense. I didn't just stay at home when I was your age. And, now that I'm out here, all I want for you, all my kids, just to stay safe. But I understand this is a dangerous world, and you're gonna go do what you need to do. All I ask is that if you need my help, if you get into any situations, don't hesitate to call me, because I know clearly a lot of people in a lot of different places. I will worry about you. I'm your mother. I'm gonna do that.
I know, Mom, but you get to a point in your life where you just don't want your mom and dad bailing you out of every time you get into trouble, and sometimes you get into trouble in a way that's a little embarrassing, and you just don't want your mom to know.
That's true. That's true. I know you're not gonna come to me with every little trouble that you have, but know that if you do get stuck in the mud, I'll be there to pull you out.
I know. Thanks, Mom.
Anytime.
All right, well, once the king and everyone's all ready, I know that you got up here from your friend Sebastian, and I don't really know if he's been to Altbrook before, but I have, and I can make sure that you're not going to get discombobulated with the way that he does with his magic.
Please do that. I'd really appreciate that. I mean, I trust Sebastian very much so, but my first experience traveling that way was not a nice one, so I appreciate. And I mean, if you can tell me how you did it, that would be great. I'm super curious on learning the way that you did it.
Well, we always, growing up, we kept the old ways, and I just found that you got to learn to listen. And, I've been around a little bit, and there's a lot more places that I want to go. And so I think once I take you to Altbrook, I think I might head out west or east or maybe south. I don't know which way. I've been north for a while. I figure I should maybe go the other way. What do you think?
Sounds like you're ready for a new adventure. And I'd say you've grown to be very wise. Just keep that wisdom with you and you'll be all right.
Yeah. I think I need to have some space from Sophia. I'm not really sure how much I can trust her. I know I was trying to help her, and I feel like she kind of took advantage of me.
I agree. I appreciate the way she said she was your friend and didn't tell you the truth, but you know what? There's lots of good people out there, and you'll find them. I can see you attract good people.
I hope so. Thanks, Mom. I guess we'll be off in the morning then.
Did I give her a big bear hug?
Aw, she hugs back. So with that, Sebastian, how do you respond to River?
So my staff dings, got a text message, got to respond. I respond, sorry for the holdup. Cats, ! Leaving in the morning. See you soon. Smiley emoji.
Okay. Well, Before you head off to Altbrook,
Emojis break sending.
is there? Yeah, they just do.
Also, I do approach the group after Reyna.
The sending
steps-
spell hasn't been updated for MMS.
Yeah. So what she got was actually
like the
line,
square with the
or the
question
2
mark.
dots and then
Oh, yeah.
sideways bracket.
I come up to Rudy and the rest of the gang after Reyna steps away. Good news, everybody. I can teleport us to Altbrook. There's only a 75% chance that I'll rip the flesh from our bones. But
I'm in.
Great.
Listen, Reyna already told us she can get us there, no problem. I think
Reyna can't cast teleport.
she can get us through the trees. She said something about stepping through plants or something, and to be honest,
That's not how magic works.
Yeah, you gotta talk to the guy that knows magic.
We use the teleport spell. What are we going to do? Walk into a tree and magically teleport all the way to Altbrook?
I think that's the way she mentioned it. I don't know, it's a bit past my level, but if she can do it, I trust her.
You trust Reyna? Why?
She's my daughter.
You
Or
have
the Queen of
kids?
Thieves?
10 to be exact. What? Not the Queen of Thieves.
It's never come up.
I do. I have 10 kids that are varying ages and 10. Yeah. They're all so great, smart. And I miss them so much. Actually,
We've been traveling with you. I mean, you mentioned kids, but 10?
10.
Wait, did we know this?
I feel like I should know you better. I feel like I have to get to know you better.
well, we're going to be traveling together, so I hope that, if y'all have any questions
Tell me about the kids. Tell me about the kids. We got time.
Give me all of their names.
All right.
Diligent note keeping.
I got Ari, I got Lacus, I got Dove, Fauna, Reyna. I mean, you met her. She's wonderful. Fiery Spirit, Tabitha, Buck, Ren, Corbin, Paloma, and I got a few grandkids as well. We got Duke, we got Twyla, we got Una, Hector, and Dove. He may have had his already. I haven't heard about, but he was expecting. So,
Wow.
lots coming.
Okay, so I knew that you wore a red coat and that you chop people's heads off.
Yeah. Decapitation.
We were in Art City. Come on.
Liberio.
We were in Liberio for like a month, and I found out you like gelato.
Yeah, that was good. Can we go back there? I quite like that.
But I'm
Retreat.
surprised.
We can
that
go.
We should all spend more time together. Pluto, me, you.
I've got an interest in history, and hopefully I can. And I wouldn't presume to give you battle tips, but I've got some stories under my belt from the war. And
Who would win in an arm wrestle?
that's a good question.
This is to be settled after drinks.
Okay, when we arrive in Altbrook, if we're all settling down, I assume nothing's going to happen there out of the ordinary. It's like a school city.
Boring.
We have to find... Wait a second. No, when we were investigating in Liberio the assassination attempt on Wilhelm, those were... The apothecaries are... Oh, this is...
Yeah, no vacation, man.
So we might be going into where we might need to do a little bit
Right.
of investigating.
investigating.
That's what we're here.
Yeah. As I put the cork back in your wine bottle.
I'll put it back in the bag.
Yeah, keep it with
Yes. What do you recall from those events?
So that was Sebastian, Veo, and Pluto that were investigating the attempt to assassinate Wilhelm. They tracked down that it was apothecaries from Altbrook University. The Conscientious Guild.
The Guild of Conscientious Practice and Scientific Discovery.
Exactly. So they were from that department, and
And they were the ones that set up the thing underneath
the cathedral. Yeah, they raised some dead to explode, which wasn't cool. Why they want to kill Wilhelm, we're not sure yet. We sent Blackjack Mel away to go find out that information, and he never returned.
No, that was the robots.
Also an assassination attempt on Wilhelm.
Yeah. We're talking, the second one was Altbrook. The first
Right.
one was...
Who's going to protect Wilhelm while we're gone?
Are you Wrath and Vale? Vale's the Lord Commander.
She should be fine.
Maya's got it.
Like, if Vale's eyes are on the king, then if anybody comes within 10 feet of the king with like a blade or something, that person's dead.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that was on your list of things to do in Altbrook?
I have a personal mission that I need to attend to.
Paint?
I need to get some medium for the delirium paint to just paint a regular picture. No ulterior motives or
I
plans.
think it's important to have hobbies.
Yeah.
Drakkenheim, I think it's really important that you find other channels for your creativity beyond killing people with fire.
I mean, Pluto, you know the ulterior motives. We're going to go to hell.
Very well.
Wink.
And of course, there is the core business that Wilhelm will need to meet with Duke Malkador Engelhart,
Yeah.
as expected. With all that, and finally, you are expecting the rest of the royal caravan to be there because they traveled from Geldstadt to up towards Altbrook instead of going all the way to Helig. And so, with that, in the morning, you finish breakfast, you finish your affairs, look out on the dark, bleak stone of Helig, and Sophia and her cat wave goodbye as
Bye.
Reyna prepares the spell with all 6 of you to transport via plants.
Daughter's so talented. Look at her.
I don't believe it.
It's hard to wrap my head around.
What is this? Druid magic? Is she a druid?
She's got the magic of the old ways, yeah.
Also, we've seen her become like a fox.
No, that was the Queen of Thieves, I thought.
Is she the Queen of Thieves?
She's not the queen of we're not spreading that rumor around.
Tapping into one of the old trees just off the castle grounds, she opens a gateway to that leads to the outskirts of Altbrook, which itself, Altbrook lies on the northern edge of the Ochtenwald forest along the Dran River. And so, stepping through the momentary gateway, you feel yourselves pulled through that connective web that links all life together across the planet. Just as the roots of the tree stretch down into the earth, so does the magic between them connect all these living things. And so as you step through the bark and the opening, you feel that connection manifest, almost as if you are the motes of water and soil energized by the sun, propelled through the roots and the bones of the earth from one plant to the other. In that way that like almost all the roots of the world feel like they overlap and reach through one another, like spiraling streets out in their own underground pathways. And that brief sensation aside, you find yourself propelled and ejected out from another stout tree of the northern edge of the Ochtenwald forest near Altbrook. And in the morning,
I cough up dust like wood like
I could have done that. I could have
shut
done
my
this.
mouth.
And so before you see the city of Altbrook. Straddling the wide expanse of the Dran River, the two halves of Altbrook are connected by a great curved causeway of stone. It still bears the scaffolding from the repairs that were built to it, for the bridge of Altbrook was destroyed during the Civil War when the city of Altbrook itself was captured by the forces of Cecilia von Kessel. Huddled about either side of the impressive bridge are the two halves of the city. The northern side is dominated by lawns and stately buildings of the noble estates and the impressive university campus of Altbrook University, whereas the south side is tightly packed together with small ramshackle housing, and the smell of coffee and newsprint fills the air. And the walls that surround the city of Altbrook bear the scars from the battles of the Civil War, and the breaches that were blown into the walls. It's very clear that they're still in the process of rebuilding the walls of Altbrook, and in the midst of this, there is the Duke's estate, but a new castle is being constructed by the Duke as well, in the midst of building up these fortifications again, so that the destruction that was once visited on Altbrook will never occur again. Reyna, having transported you here, gives another big hug to her mother and says, "Say hi to Corbin for me. I think he's at the university."
I'll have to go pay him a visit. Thank you for letting me know that he's here, but you stay strong, all right?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna head through the Auchenwald, maybe stop by Tierhaven, say hi to some old friends, and be along my way from there.
All right, give everyone a big hug for me and tell them I'm trying to finish, I'm trying to get through this so I can come back to them.
Will do, Mom. Love you.
Love you.
That's really small.
And
A single tear.
with that, Reyna transforms into a fox and scurries off into the woods.
Wait, teach me the stuff.
I'm just saying you could learn a thing or two without not, tearing us apart and putting us back together when we travel.
Nobody they were like, you need to bend the fabrics of reality to, this is Eldrick's,
Voice.
to move from one place. Like, nobody said you could walk through a tree.
I feel like it's more like it's less simplistic than that. Like I felt connected to the earth.
Yeah, the way I learned tears us apart into atoms and puts us back together. This, I felt one with the entire planet.
yeah,
That was a
felt good.
really cool sensation.
Yeah, I felt really grounded.
Yeah.
I mean, the old ways, boys. You gotta put yourselves out there.
I'm not going to start praying to old gods just so I can walk through a tree.
Why not?
Okay, touche.
Lots of options for magic.
So, I guess, where are we headed?
Good question.
I guess with Wilhelm. And
Okay, we want to know more about these assassins, right?
Yeah.
We need to figure out the whole Altbrook fiasco. So maybe we got to figure out where these guys operate out of.
And of course, the Duke is expecting you, and
Oh yeah,
Elias,
we're busy.
Eldrick, and River are at the Duke's.
Before you guys go running off on your noble adventure to find my assassins, I need to go talk to the Duke. I have business to attend to here. We should meet with the rest of our people, and I should probably figure out the meeting times. I'm going to be doing some conversations and all of that boring stuff.
It's important, but yes, it is boring. That's why we're gonna go kill stuff. But you do that, and no, we'll come with you, I guess.
And hopefully we won't have to kill nothing when we're out, but we have some important business to take care of. But yes, meeting with the Duke is definitely your priority.
Rudy,
Here.
keep your eye on Pluto and Sebastian.
Eyes? Yes.
Yes, sorry, I'm used to just one eye. Keep your eyes on Pluto and Sebastian. Try to stay out of trouble. Altbrook was on my father's side during the war, but also saw the brunt of most of the issues of the Civil War. I am nervous about the opinions in this city, and you can physically see how deep the scars here run.
As you step through the streets of Altbrook, you see the scars indeed. The smell of coffee and newsprint fills your nostrils. And throughout the boulevards of this educated city, you see the pamphlets and papers and the books of the printing presses. And here and there you'll see painted the slogans on the walls. Painted in bright red paint across a print shop as you head into town. No kings.
Well,
And beside it, the words, "Let the people rule." And scattered about the litter of the streets are the pamphlets. One flutters past you, speaking strange ideas of alternative systems of governments and this strange notion known as democracy. These liberal ideas spreading amongst the educated people of this of Albrook.
Well, this doesn't add up.
what are the people? The people aren't kings. What are they? What decisions can?
What does a peasant know of noble life?
Like, Wilhelm just like puts his hood up and like.
On the back of one of the newspapers is in fact a body and political cartoon scrawled depicting a caricature of Wilhelm striding out proclaiming himself king, and stepping across, and as he's doing so, Wilhelm is stepping out of the ruins across a field of bones and broken skulls and downtrodden individuals. And the caption says, "It's good to be the king."
I almost got eaten like 30 times trying to bring.
To be fair though, like that's us. Like we have walked over so many skulls to get here.
Yes,
And we're gonna walk over so many more.
Do I look like? Look at
Look,
his silly mustache.
he probably had dysentery when he wrote that.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about.
I don't look half that ridiculous.
Another political cartoon shows Wilhelm sitting beside a roaring fireplace with several dogs chewing on bones of what looks like normal-looking people. And you realize that the dogs are caricatures of Rickard Steelfang, Rudy, and Elias Drexel.
I don't chew on bones unless I am maybe shifted during battle. I have
all the time.
been-
But-
not all the time, not in front of fires. Clearly, it's just in the heat of battle.
I think it's best we keep our heads down.
No,
here.
we need to go find who is spreading this misinformation. This can really have negative impact on your political points. We
People
need to
love cartoons.
We need to
Another-
find out who's doing that.
Another one shows Wilhelm dancing on a stage like a puppet. Meanwhile, the puppet strings above depict the divine matriarch and several shadowy wizards punching each other in the face over who pulls the marionette strings of Wilhelm.
Look, Wilhelm, one of the reasons we don't have these problems in Caspia is because we keep them in line. And if you want to hold on to your noble houses, sometimes you got to remind them who's in charge.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say because you can't read. Like,
Yeah. If you take away the ability for the lower class to read, they can't even draw. And then it's nonsensical, and then they can't even communicate with each other.
I don't want this to come off the wrong way, Pluto, but how often have the Jacksons kept the rest of Caspia in line with anything?
Look, you're splitting hairs here. The point is that this is gonna have, if people feel comfortable mocking you openly like this, pamphlets blowing in the street, posters, challenging that you're just some sort of puppet that is being controlled, this could lead to some widespread revolt.
Now,
Like,
hang on.
this is the start of an uprising.
I don't think that. I mean, maybe the way that they're doing the mocking is not quite right, but the people should have their voice about how they want to be led. No, they should be able to have their opinions on what is going on, because I've seen it. I've been a part of it. My family's directly impacted. They're the ones that fight the battles on which kings win or lose.
I want to be the voice of the people. Now, Pluto is right, though. Usually when I see things like this, I shy away and would leave my father to deal with it. I don't deal well with this sort of a spotlight on me and people thinking less of me. I generally want people to like me. It's one of my problems. But Pluto's right. If the rampant opinion and the culture of this place is to shun me and mock me, then I need to stand up to that.
And look, I totally agree. You need to listen to your people. If your people are hungry, you feed them. If they are sick, they need to be taken care of. But we don't know who's creating this. Is it truly the people, or is it a political opponent? Is it someone behind the scenes? Is it the Queen of Thieves?
You can see that these papers, these pamphlets, appear to be two broadsheets, proto-newspapers. One published by the Altbrook Free Press, the other by the Westmar Independent.
Free Press and the Independent?
We have a word back home for this. Fake news. It's...
Aspia, no! Okay, I don't know. I don't know where to go with that.
What if we just find out a little bit more about the old book, Free Press, and the Westmar Journal? Westmar.
Rule number 98, no matter the situation, never lose your cool. We're not losing our cool. No news is fake news. It's all news.
Well,
There's people trying to get their opinions across, but this is not fake. This is somebody's opinion of us.
Yes, the Albrook Free Press has one of the articles in it has prospective king on tour of the realm, and it describes very accurately how sightings have been coming in that the supposed king of Westamar is now hobnobbing with all the dukes of the various provinces of Westamar. What is the king planning? Trying to secure his legitimacy to the throne? What will happen next? How next will the people of Westamar be exploited and drawn up for blood? Will this aggressive and violent king bring us into another war with Illyria?
I mean, the people have a right to know what's going on, I guess.
Look, we knew this is what was going to happen. And this is just part of the game that we have to play. I think why don't we meet with the Duke? And then afterwards, we can try to figure out where some of your PR problems are. where people see you, because it's true. And I think it really came from the advice of the woman that was your friend.
Von Schneestrom?
Yes, Von Schneestrom.
Fifi.
Fifi was the one that said that we should do our the political tour, right?
No, sorry. That was... She's the one whose home we just came from.
We don't want to be talking.
You're talking about Von Baden.
Von Baden. It's a lot of.
It's complicated. I know.
Yes.
I have to keep it all in line.
Von Baden said that we really need to, gain people's trust, and obviously there's this, there's a lack of understanding of like where you came from, what your intentions are. There's obviously some shots being taken by who's really in charge. Are you just propped up? Maybe we got to find a way to get more in line with like get the people on your side, make you the people's champ.
Well, that's why we're here. We're here because these people don't know me yet.
Yeah.
They've only heard the stories of me touring West Samara. Nobody is pulling my strings. And I will make sure of that.
Well, and the people, I'm sure, from previous kings and reigns have had history where, like this says, that they have been put on the front lines, right? We got to make sure that they know that that's not your intention.
My intention is to not have war unless it's absolutely necessary. And it sounds like we won't get out of this without wronging somebody, but that's the way you unite a kingdom. Nobody tells me what to do. Now, here we are with these mockeries. Rudy, what should I do?
I have an idea.
First thing, we go and talk to the Duke, like Pluto said.
Right, great idea.
Go talk to the Duke. Now.
All right.
Okay. Does Wilhelm keep his hood pulled up as you?
Oh yeah, yeah. His hood's up. He's
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get rid of some of the more intricate and showy colors. We'll try to dress it down a little bit as we make our way through the...
I don't think I can dress down a bright red coat, but I'll do my best.
Flip it inside out. Is it still as red?
Still red.
Ah, darn it.
As you come out to the Engelhart estate, you can see that this large residence itself was probably also burnt to the ground during the Civil War. For the building that you see before you appears newly constructed, and you see the remnants of perhaps older buildings that have been allowed to overgrow over it. But Wilhelm, even for yourself, in your life, you would have visited the Engelhart estate, and so you immediately recognize, like, it was definitely burnt down during the war, and this is a completely new home that has been, manor home that has been built in its stead. Unfortunately, considerably less grander than the one that was once here before. And you recall that the Engleharts actually did have rather impressive gardens surrounding their estate. Currently, it is just a field. Nevertheless, as you approach the edge of the estate grounds, a regiment of hooded lanterns bearing the golden stripe across their cloaks that indicate they form the Royal Guard immediately approach you with Elias Drexel, who, as they come out from the front, the soldiers salute their king, and Elias Drexel kneels himself. "My king, it's good to see you again."
Good to see you too, Elias. I hope your travels were okay, and I hope they've been welcoming here. As welcoming as you can expect.
Absolutely. The Duke, myself and Malkador Engelhart have been friends for a long time. Engelhart's coin was some of the original ways that we were able to fund the Hooded Lanterns for all these years. Malkador is one of the staunchest supporters of our cause and a good friend. I will warn you, the good Duke is well-intentioned and a staunch ally. But he is a little long-winded.
Very well.
I suggest I leave it to you whether you will wish to humor him, but in the past, I have found that if he feels like he has not been heard, he can get a little bit upset. You might be in for several days of talking to him.
Great.
He's a good man, as I said.
If he's good company, it sounds nicer than being out here in the streets at the moment. Did you see the cartoons that they're posting around?
Those disloyal scum. Don't worry, I have already been made aware of the problem, and I am putting together a unit of hooded lanterns to raid both the Free Press and the Independent and take their printing presses.
Hold on a
This
sec.
guy.
That... I like where your head's at, Elias. The gusto. But I would rather take a Wilhelm approach here.
Right.
So disappointed.
These people don't know me. Perhaps if they got the opportunity to meet me, then they would understand what I'm here to do. They wouldn't be making comics insulting me. I would first... I'm not saying that your plan isn't going to happen, but first we try to kill them with kindness before we use our arrows and blades.
I don't think you understand. Already, there has been a investigative journalist sniffing around the estate, waiting for you to come. And I will not let them have the opportunity to slander you any further. Sensationalized writing.
Elias, if you go taking away their printing press, they're gonna riot back. That's gonna cause even more problems. Strategically, that's especially in this town. We've seen the writing on the walls.
Literally.
They're gonna have a time.
If we sweep in here, take away their printing press, then their comics are true. Their posts on the walls are true. If we feed into the narrative that they're imagining us to, then we fan the flames rather than snuff them out.
Wilhelm's right. I have an idea. We force them to send our message, a positive one. We do that for weeks, and then we destroy them. That way, simply integrating them into a bigger... What, you're not on board? You seem to be...
The people won't be forced to say anything. If anything, that's gonna cause more underground.
No, I think you're onto something. What we need is our own broadsheet.
Yes.
It can be the King's Report. It can be the official newspaper of the Kingdom of Westamar, and that will give us...
We combat it.
No
Yeah.
bad ideas in
It will be
brainstorming.
it will be the true news, the real source.
Mm-hmm.
With government resources behind it, we'll be able to completely outprint anything that they could produce.
All right, but they're clearly gonna see the bias in that coming from where it's going. You know.
Not unless we start spreading rumors about the people that are
Excuse
running
me.
the other journalism.
As king, I would like to speak for one moment. Elias, Pluto, I need you to investigate the assassination attempt. That's your goal. Stay out of the politics. I know you're a political... Are you a political leader of your people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a problem.
What's the problem?
Did I say that out loud?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look.
The same Pluto Jackson who drinks and challenges people to sword fights and duels for fun, who constantly talks about killing trolls. Listen.
That's the political talk of
I mean, between you and me,
Castia.
that's a far more reasonable and true leader than anything that anyone's ever voted for.
All I'm saying, I would like to invite the heads of the printing presses to a dinner.
Yes, that's where we can ambush them.
No, Pluto!
Fine. I'll focus
No
on
ambushes.
on the assassin.
I need you to take Pluto away from all political debates.
No, this is very good. We'll wine them and dine them.
Yes.
And then they'll shill for us.
No.
This is what I'm talking about. Look, the real thing is, do you think that these cartoons represent you?
Just invite them to dinner. I will take care of the rest.
Will you?
Yes. I will show them what kind of a man I am.
Well, show them what kind of man you are, but also the ideas need to come from them. That's the only way it's gonna make sense.
As long as they're approved by us.
Not
We do not control the press, but we can invite them to see our value. And if we can prove to them our value, they will print about it.
I don't know about this, Wilhelm.
It's risky.
A free and independent press is the basis for democratic government.
An independent press, people will trust. So if we can convince them kindly to write positively of us, the people will believe it too. This could have major benefits. If we control the press, word will get out that we're controlling the press, and people will turn on us.
As soon as you start spreading ideas like this, I don't know, people are going to get ideas like suffrage and voting rights and all these sorts of things. They might start questioning our system of hereditary monarchy.
Do you want to be the king?
I
Do you want
want
some other guy who just happens to be super popular to or like usurp you, and then I have to serve them? I have to serve Dave just because everyone likes him? You gotta be strong.
I am going to be strong, but I'm going to be a different kind of king. Every king before me has led this country into needless war and ruin. I will be better. I will prove to the people that I am a good man with a good heart who intends to do the right thing and protect this nation. And if people see that, they will stand behind me.
Very well.
agreed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Elias, I think before you go taking away printing presses, you should run it by me as Lord Commander. I feel very nervous that this decision was being made without me knowing about it.
Yeah, that's...
Breakdown in the chain of command here.
Yeah, it's real. Just run it all across my desk, please, so I can give the quick sign off.
Very well. In any case, there's much business to be had here, but but we should meet with the Duke, nevertheless. There are many things to be concerned about, and I suppose a few pieces of paper with some silly drawings on them are the least of our worries.
But they're not in our worries. Schedule a dinner for after the 3 days we spend with the Duke, or however long he needs to talk. After we're finished with whatever the Duke needs, we will attend to the press, and we will change their minds, and they can help us unite Westamar.
Certainly. Well, with me then. He leads you up the great steps of the estate, through the double doors into the atrium of the Engelhart estate. There is a great set of double stairs that span around a central door, and arranged on the stairs, in their finest, is the entire staff and household of the Engelhart family. You can see all of the guards, the staff are in their finest, and they're kind of all paired up down along the stairs and all along the room in formation with their halberds and spears. The staff of the household, and prominently standing in a line to present themselves to the king is Malkador Engelhart and his family. The Duke himself is a short man, barely 5 feet tall. who has a very thick, bushy white mustache that sticks out to either side past his ears, and then a goatee. He wears a frilled doublet and a vest and jacket that just generally, he's got a bit of a paunched belly, but he's by no means a large man to any extent. And he has a single monocle that he wears on one side, and very clear, a curled white wig that he wears. Arranged beside him is his wife, who towers over him and wears a massive gown, that the kind with the large piece that frills out to the sides and makes her take up the space of 10 people, basically. And then arrayed beside them are their 29 children.
I thought you had a lot.
I don't know. Woo!
And they are arranged in neat rows in chronological order by age, so they form this nice kind of descending line.
But how tall is the tallest?
The tallest is much taller than the Duke himself. Almost all his children are taller than him, aside from the small ones.
29 kids, none of them feel like they need to run off and explore the world.
Well, they are royalty, so I mean, they have it pretty good.
He is absolutely
They don't live in the woods.
beaming
That's why.
What's wrong with
as he presents himself, and him and his wife kneel before you, King Wilhelm, and he proceeds to go down the line, introducing you to each of his children one by one, and all of the children bow or curtsy in turn. And he starts with the smallest of the children, who is only about 3 years old.
Aww.
And then moving along, and as they get to his eldest children, the Duke says, "Yes, and this is you see he's starting to forget the names of all of his kids." Yes, King Wilhelm. Then of course next we have this here is where's my list of names?
It happens to the best of us. I only have 10 kids, and sometimes I forget their names, so...
Yes.
Totally get it.
This is Ella, Daria, Elsbeth, unmarried. He kind of jabs you in the ribs.
Yes.
And you notice at this point that almost all of his children are daughters. He has only one son.
And is it the 3-year-old?
No. The son, as he comes to his son, you smell the smell of cheap beer coming off of his son. And his son has a cap on that is slightly to the side. He's slightly disheveled, and he's like, "Hey, King Willie, Big Willie in the house. All right, man, good to see you. I'm gonna take you out. It's gonna be so good. Yeah."
How old is this son?
Perhaps 20.
So there's a chance. Have I seen him as a baby? Like, was I here? No.
No.
I never met him before. All right.
No. And he says, my son is currently studying at the university to learn his letters and laws. My apologies, of course, Your Majesty.
What was the son's name?
Christoph.
Christoph? It's a pleasure to meet you, but you can call me King Wilhelm.
Yeah, you bet, King Willie. Yeah, anytime you want to party, you just come around my place. I'll take you across all the campus. And, you want to see the real ladies of Elbrook? this guy. Yeah. I'll show you where the party's at, my friend.
Is he Caspian?
I think he wants to party, man.
Yes.
Yeah!
No, I didn't say that.
King Wilhelm.
Thank you for the invitation. I will see if I can fit it into my schedule. But I would work on your manners towards royalty in the future.
We're buddies, we're friends, right?
We have never met before. This is our first time meeting. You're lucky that I'm an easygoing king. Had I been somebody else, you may have been up for a beheading.
Whoa!
I mean,
I'm not going to behead you, but a warning for the future.
Just so you know, my friend, I'm not into that stuff. But that sounds super cool if you are.
I look at the Duke, like, with puzzlement.
The Duke says, my apologies. My son doesn't know what you mean by beheading. I believe he thinks it's something more vulgar.
This is the people. Just so you're...
Do you by chance have aspirations of working at the printing press?
No, man! Words are for nerds!
I take my book of rules and, like, push it off to the side.
Clutch it tightly.
It was a pleasure.
was it?
No,
Was it really?
I don't... Look, do I sentence him to death?
Are you gonna let him talk to you like that?
Wait,
Were you
you
working on getting a little bit more?
God, you won't silence one printing press, but you let this guy just go off.
You can see that the Duke himself is turning red with embarrassment.
Duke, thank you for introducing me to all your children. Most of them seem wonderful. I would put some effort into making sure that some of them know the rules and regulations of royalty and understand when to stay in line.
As you step away from the children, the Duke leads you towards dinner. He apologizes. I'm so sorry, Your Majesty. I've just had... Christoph has been such a challenge for me. I endowed an entire wing of the university that they would accept him for studies, and I hoped that he would learn so much and that he would grow and become a mature man, and it just hasn't worked out very well. He's used the entire opportunity to just be some kind of party animal.
Yes, and he's your only son.
Well, he was, of course, of my children, 10 of them did die in service of your father.
I'm terribly sorry about that, and I know that you were good friends with my father, and... Sorry, 10 of them?
Well, not quite 10. Elias Drexel says, his eldest 2 sons were part of some of the first expeditionary regiments, and they were hooded lanterns that served with distinction.
Yes. 39 kids. When my father used to talk about you, he mentioned you having 17 or 18 children. I thought, wow, that's a lot. You've been busy in the years I've been away.
And he says, well, the missus does have her priorities.
Yes, well, you were a good friend of my father's, and I hope that we can be good friends too.
Oh, indeed, I certainly hope that. I, of course, haven't seen you since you were a lad, but you've grown into such a strapping man. I'm very impressed, very, very impressed. So are my daughters.
Thank you. Is your son in line to become the Duke after you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good.
No.
We can move.
No. I love my son very much, but no. No,
I'm
no,
sure
that
he
will
has-
pass to one of my daughters.
Good. That's great. We're off to a good start.
No, I just very much hoped that I had such hopes for Kristoff, but my apologies, Your Majesty.
I would start investing in your other children.
Is he right there too?
No.
Okay. Whew. Poor guy.
No offense.
Well, you love them all, and
You love them all.
I do.
Good.
I care very much about them, and I just felt that Kristoff, after his brothers passed away, and being now my only son, I just had hoped that he would failure to launch. That's what I worry about, and I've tried to instill more of my good values and loyalty to the throne and being responsible and all those good values and such, but they just haven't taken. He likes the drink a little too much.
Well, I was going to suggest putting him in the military to straighten him up, but after just learning about your other 10 sons, I will say let him party. He's earned it, I suppose, being the last of 11 brothers. Perhaps.
Yes, I actually did have him in the service of the former Lord Commander for a little while. And Elias Drexel says, yeah, I couldn't get him out of the Skull and Sword tap house for more than a day, so I sent him back.
I see. Perhaps we should just let that be what it is and talk about the matters at hand. Your son
Absolutely.
could seemingly fill up an entire evening of conversation if we wanted him to, and I'm sure he'd be happy to be the center of attention.
Yes. He had all these expectations, of course, Your Majesty, that he was going to take you out on the town tonight. I don't expect you to do that.
I think with all the security concerns again, writing on the wall, I think we'll play it safe and stay here.
Yes, myself and my Lord Commander are going to stay here. I probably won't be leaving your home very often.
I'm not letting him out of my sight. 10 feet.
There was an investigation done in Liberio.
Yes, there is much to discuss. I would very much like to have you enjoy the hospitality of my home. But I understand that there are concerns about your security and safety here in Oldbrook. I have made arrangements for you or your representative to meet with the headmaster of Altbrook University, Reginald Montgomery, at your earliest convenience. I have instructed the headmaster to provide full access to the archives, records of the entire faculty, their movements, their funding, everything that they have done, so that we can get to the bottom of who is responsible for this.
Thank you very much. We have much to discuss, so I will send a representative, somebody who I trust. Rudy, would you go?
Of course, I'll go, but I think I'm gonna need at least Sebastian and maybe Pluto to go along with me.
Yes, it is worth mentioning your friends with the Academy. One River and the Grandmaster Eldrick Runeweaver have been meeting with my court mage, and they have their own concerns about the university. Concerns that I must admit I share as well.
Well, then perhaps it's in our best interest. Rudy, if you're going to be investigating, Pluto, I think you should...
I mean, you don't want my political knowledge.
I
anyways.
need you to invest as one of the... yes. I need you to go. I need you to
You
leave.
made up your mind. I'll go help deal with the assassination stuff.
I think if there's something going on with the academy and the university, we might need both of us just to back up Sebastian, just in case there's any trouble.
Sebastian is one of our best investigators, so he will go too. But Wrath will stay here to discuss matters with River and Eldrick of importance with the academy. He is a strong academy member, and Veo will stay with me as personal protection as the Lord Command.
Very good, Your Majesty. I do think that your chosen investigators, it would be prudent for them to speak briefly with the Grandmaster Wizard.
Right. Then,
If you wish, you and I may continue our conversations, and following supper, and your investigators may proceed immediately then from there.
Very well.
Excellent. Well, there is much to go over. I did also want to talk about troop assignments and a few matters of state. I have some very, very interesting suggestions about some adjustments to the legal code, and he begins trailing off and going into very minutiae about his opinions about the very specific laws around crop rotations in the areas of specific areas in the country. And
as Wilhelm and him walk off, you hear Wilhelm going, sounds entirely fascinating. I can't wait to hear more.
We should go out with Von Wilder over there. Let's go on the town. Let's hit the town up. We could see if
You want to bring him with us?
maybe he's the guy of the people. Maybe he knows the party spots. Maybe he knows where. Okay, never mind.
I think, you know what?
He just-
Option. Let's go talk to the Grandmaster first. Definitely, potentially
Elder, yeah.
later evening scouting mission.
Deal.
And then the wine bar.
We'll see. We gotta keep our wits about us. We can't be getting too much in the drink on our mission.
I think you don't understand that my wits go up after
It's a process.
3 glasses of wine, wits at the highest. 4, they start to lower again. 5, no wits whatsoever. But 3, good wits.
All right.
Great wits. I think so. Are we meeting with the Eldrick or the court?
Eldrick is the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
But the Sebastian, with the three of you aside, Elias and the King and the Duke head off to discuss their affairs along with Veo and Wrath. And the three of you are then brought to the wing of the estate that the court mage of the Engelhart household, Master Wizard Jandis Coldweaver, uses as her personal study. In this wing, as you step through into Jandis's parlor, essentially, a rather well-outfitted library and wizard study, Eldrick Runeweaver and River are there, and they greet you warmly. It's been some time, Sebastian. Good to see you again. And I'm sure Pluto, as well as Rudy, you two as well. River nods. Good to see you again, Rudy.
Nice to see y'all. It's been a while.
Pluto.
You're looking good.
Thank you.
River, I missed you.
Likewise, it's good to be all back again. There's been a lot going on, and we've had our ear to the ground on a couple different things. This is Jandis Coldweaver. Jandis is herself garbed in a purple-blue gown, bearing her academy seals, and she has raven black hair, and her eyes are pools of just blue light. And you can see all the elements of frosty magic that she seems fascinated by in the area. Jandis introduces herself and says, I'm very glad that all of you are here. I've tried to report on my concerns about this for some time to the Directorate and to the Academy, and I fear that the situation is rapidly getting beyond our control and has fallen out of our oversight at the Academy for too long.
What situation?
Eldrick crosses his arms. There's a few things that have occurred over the past several months that have gone underneath the Academy's notice in the midst of both our political problems internally, as well as our interest in the affairs in Drakkenheim and our broader political affairs. I suspect that these matters are starting to come to a head in a most concerning way. A few of these are the Academy's fault, and the failings, but we have allowed enemies to take advantage of some of our carelessness. Rudy, you recall several months ago when you battled a creature in Ash Bay?
The Duchess, or what we called her?
Yes.
Of course.
Heard
The
about that.
corpse of that creature was entrusted to an Academy vessel and was to be brought back to an Academy stronghold for study. The ship never made it.
Uh-oh.
It never made it.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's not good.
It was caught in a storm and it was shipwrecked along the Crystal Coast. We sent our own response team to it, and by the time we arrived, the ship had been looted and taken.
How do you know it was taken and not just washed out to sea?
We followed up on our own investigations. We scoured the area, and we found that the ship eventually made its way back to Dransmond and then was sunk deliberately. Its cargo scuttled and taken.
Do you know who?
We suspect it may have been agents of the Guild of Conscientious Practice and Scientific Discovery.
That's a name I've been hearing too often these days when it comes to trouble happening around.
That's the same group that tried to sabotage the meeting with the king in Liberia.
And try to
Yes.
blow everything up.
And this matches up with a few of the concerns that we have had with, well, Jandis's concerns. Jandis continues. I'm court mage to the Engelhart household, but one of my other responsibilities is to be the Academy's auditor to Altbrook University. Under the terms of the Edicts of Lumen, it is forbidden for any institution or any individual to hold tomes of magical lore for the purposes of instruction. Altbrook University is a secular institution. Their instructions may be strictly non-magical in nature, and they are absolutely forbidden from having any tomes, artifacts of occult or arcane significance in their libraries or museums. It is my role to regularly audit the university to ensure that this doesn't happen, and to seize anything that might be coming through their stacks. The headmaster, Reginald Montgomery, and I have worked together closely for some time. But Reginald believes that somebody is working under his nose to conceal and move information around before I can conduct my audits.
Do you have regularly scheduled audits, or are they
Usually
random?
every few months, but I control when I audit. It's always a surprise. The result of it is that I almost always do find something. It's not a problem if I find something. I just take it. I confiscate it. And so my usual expectation is that someone most often what happens is someone finds something, an adventurer or a merchant has something that they don't realize what it is. The university purchases books regularly. They sell it to the university because the university is a buyer. They'll often buy a stack of books at a time. Something ends up amongst them, and it's usually an innocent mistake. I find it, I take it, and I return it to the academy. But when I don't find something, that's when I get worried.
So you haven't been finding things.
The last couple of audits I've conducted, I haven't found anything. And that makes me more worried than when I do find something. Because if I'm not finding something, to me that means somebody is finding it before I do.
And I mean, it's not on if the universities, you haven't found nothing, can't hold them responsible for not having the magic items, right?
Exactly.
Really out of your hands at that point.
They're not supposed to have it, and ideally, in theory, an audit that turned up nothing, it's clean, that sounds good. But the thing is that that's just not what happens. Almost all of my audits, I'll find something, even if it's just a spell scroll, or a book of cantrips. There's lots of those. It's normal for those things to turn up in the audits. That's why I'm here. I'm supposed to be the one that finds those things, but when I'm not finding anything, that means that someone else is taking it, and someone knows to take it before I can get to it.
There's a lot at play here. The university, from what it sounds like, is linked to an assassination attempt on our king, a missing creature from Ash Bay, and now secretly smuggling in magical texts to, well, I assume there's a group of students there now, possibly in secret, practicing occult magic.
I was gonna say, do you think that there's a chance that the university at large is playing into this, or could this be a small sect of the university, either former students or current students that are operating within? Like, is this a big picture thing, or is this a small slice?
I don't know.
Interesting.
The headmaster, Reginald Montgomery, you'll meet him tomorrow. He's shown himself to be very cooperative, but he has many administrative things to worry about. He'll talk to you about the structure of the school. I don't think he's complicit in it. My sense is that it's happening under his nose.
Now, with these magical books going missing, has anything else popped up that might give you an indication that there is magic or something happening? Because if there's just no books, there's just no books. But what's the indicator that someone might be taking them?
It's just a hunch. The only other thing that you need to know about Altbrook is that it lies on the Duran River. It's downstream of Drakkenheim.
Yeah.
So it does mean that there are bits of delirium and creatures that do flow. The sewers of Altbrook are dangerous.
Have you had any rat problems? It's usually my first question when sewers and delirium.
There's rumors. Nothing that I've observed firsthand.
Just one other question that links to our investigation. Does Altbrook University have an art department?
It's part of one of the wider schools. It does have a small, from what I understand, the art department, there's more of a student organization regarding more of the finer arts. Altbrook University is more focused on the sciences, mathematics, and histories.
In our travels, we met a painter who was getting supplies from Altbrook.
There is a very large interest in what we at the Academy would call mundane alchemy. I believe they call it chemistry here. It's possible. They do have... Well, they're not allowed to have anything of a strictly or overt magical purpose. There are many natural substances and things that are on the borderline. I have audited their departments in the past. Their laboratories usually are quite clean. Once in a while, I'll find something that has applications in arcane or occult magic, but is also typically used for normal pursuits. Things like ammonia, various nitrates, various herbal plants, other extracts, things of perhaps a poisonous, chemical, explosive nature. So it's not like the university doesn't have these things. They have developed, of course, firearms and other things here before, so that's been part of what their pursuits have been. And they do have a department that is interested in medical sciences as well, so many more normal healing techniques are taught here as well.
It sounds like they work very hard to try to mimic magical powers.
Well, it's remarkable what can be achieved through ingenuity alone. And I must admit that through my auditing, I am generally impressed with what they do find here. But the Academy's work begins where the extent of what Altbrook University and institutions like it end. Beyond the scope of the mortal and the natural, that is our field. And this institution is not allowed by the Edicts of Lumen to possess these things. And they are subject to far less oversight than we are at the Academy. Anyone can come and become a student here, as long as they can pay the tuition fees. Anyone can access their libraries. At the Academy, our libraries are strictly protected. Our students are exceptional individuals that are chosen for a reason, and they grow up from a young age, learning to be responsible from it. Altbrook University has all sorts of people that come here for any purpose.
Well, I will need access to these mundane alchemy labs. Or, sorry, you called it chemistry?
Yes, it's a strange word, isn't it? Chemistry.
Chemistry.
Yes.
Mundane alchemy.
Yes.
Alchemy for people who can't actually do alchemy.
Precisely.
Yes, okay.
That's like me.
Yeah, you could do this alchemy. It's probably really simple and...
And non-applicable.
Yeah, you just mix some stuff together and make it go, and then you call yourself, oh, look at this magic I made. But it's not magic, it's just silly.
Pluto Jackson, Prince of Caspia, mundane alchemist.
You know,
That was a good ring.
yeah, it does
I
have an
think it's
answer.
because I said it. That's why.
Maybe you should go to school.
No. These nerds. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, you're notorious for beating up nerd. Pluto,
Maybe if I learn more about them, I'll learn how to beat them up hard.
I mean, we might be beating up some nerds.
Yeah.
Is this what you do? You beat up nerds?
Only the bad ones.
Most of them have been bad.
Almost all of them have been.
Every time we've met a nerd, we've had to beat them up.
Yeah, because they've been raising the dead, or they've been messing around with stuff, or...
Reading arcane texts that they shouldn't, having stabs that blow up, that tried to blow us up. Really, we're all just talking about one guy. It's one guy.
Yeah, we've had one guy that we've had to deal with. The point is that
Big
I
man.
have a specialty with intimidation when it comes to the scholarly pursuits. I know how to get under their skin with my nails. It's quite graphic.
And your sword.
Yeah, that's it.
So what I'm hearing is we talk to them, and if that doesn't work, you're pretty much good to...
Pluto's an excellent talker.
Yeah, I'm great at interrogations. You investigate, I interrogate.
We're kind of a duo here. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the potion investigators, but we can pull that stunt off anytime.
It
have
works
not.
100% of the time.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit of doubt with both of y'all being so.
I have a sword that
there.
speaks the truth. That makes it really hard to lie to me.
And I have a mouth that doesn't.
All right, so for this duo, I will observe, and if y'all get into any trouble, I'll step in.
You intimidate. You can intimidate.
All right.
Trouble's our middle name. What's your middle name?
No one's ever asked me that.
This is why Wilhelm sent me.
Sorry, why did Wilhelm sent you? Because I'm the greatest investigator, and you are a red coat and an axe that's really great at chopping off heads.
Also,
but I don't have to
you
chop
don't want to
anybody's
be
heads
over
off.
there in the political debate. You get to come see the action.
Do you think Wilhelm sent you because he didn't know that he was putting his 3 strongest people on this? Because he expects us to have to bust some heads.
Bust some heads. Crack some beakers.
Eldrick continues. Investigate thoroughly. I will say 2 things. If you find anything of a magical nature,
Burn it.
confiscate it.
And then use
Confiscate.
it against them.
You can take it.
Yes.
If there are any that are practicing magic,
Burn them.
Maybe let them finish.
Right.
we need to find out how deep this goes and how much is proceeding without our knowledge in secret. In the past, the Academy has overlooked some things. It's one thing for an old auntie to teach her nephew a few cantrips in some backwater. It's not a problem for a erstwhile budding sorcerer who our recruiters miss to throw around a few cantrips in a back alley and do a few things. But someone trying to teach magic to others, that, first of all, it is the Academy's mandate to secure that. We are meant to make sure that this knowledge does not spread. Because I do want to say, this might even be something that, unfortunately, the Illyrians might not be happy about.
We don't want angry Illyrians.
They get mean.
They get mean, and they use these things as an excuse to send the Silver Order.
Yeah.
Because we have tried in the past, before Drakkenheim, it would be that if we found instances like this that were beyond the Academy's ability to rein in, we would seek the aid of the Silver Order. But with the political climate being what it is, it's not appropriate, I believe. Especially within the borders of Westmar.
We don't need Wilhelm getting blamed for this either.
No. Okay. Serious Sebastian face on. Eldrick, before I arrived in Drakkenheim, I worked through you and River as a bounty hunter, hunting rogue magic users.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, I did it for years. If there was somebody using magic that wasn't supposed to be using magic, I found them. Not if they were, again, just somebody whipping out cantrips in some backwater town, but if there were people maliciously using magic. They hired me. And I have like a 9 out of 10 ratio.
This is the thing. It is not illegal under the Edicts of Lumen to practice or use magic. But the Academy possesses the sole right to instruct others in magic and to operate a magical school. And simultaneously, it is those who use magic to commit crimes. The sentence for that is death.
That's where I come in.
Makes sense. Magic, as amazing as it can be very dangerous in the wrong hands.
And someone who is teaching or learning magic outside the bounds of the Academy's instruction it becomes very difficult to adjudicate that case. In some cases, they might be able to join the academy formally, but in others, especially if they have been being taught magic of a malfeasant nature, well, hopefully it doesn't come to that. It would look very bad if we had to seize a large number of students. If the students of Altbrook University, they are already quite willful, and if several of them are being accused of sharing and disseminating magical knowledge, that has to be reined in. It doesn't look good.
I saw the signs about the king on the way in here. It sounds like we need to be subtle. I say that realizing that this group is maybe not the most subtle group, but we don't want this to look like the king just swept in here and a bunch of students get taken care of.
I really hope it's not the students.
Who knows who may be manipulating them to bring them in on this as well. I mean, if someone's teaching them something, it might be that
They might think that they're getting great classes. I mean, it was really fun learning magic in Paradox Castle. I mean, if I was but in order to learn magic, they'd have to be mage-born.
In theory, yes.
So,
But you and I both know that there are other traditions that exist, and there are occult means. It could be everything from, what if there is a professor here that is convincing students to make eldritch pacts? What if there is a professor here, or students that are at the whim of some sort of entity? What if they are using delirium to jumpstart magical talent where they wouldn't otherwise have some? The possibilities are endless and endlessly horrifying. Yes, that's the thing. If the students aren't mage-born, but they are picking up magic, then all of the answers to why or how are probably bad.
I agree. It's something out of the ordinary. Someone's been manipulating going this far. I don't know. We're gonna have to, like you said, keep our heads low. See if we can find what's going on here. Get to the source.
all signs point to the school. And I mean, we have a missing fish monster, assassination attempts, and I need some painting supplies. And it's all pointing to that school.
We pose as students. We start the school year. We get into different cliques. We slowly integrate ourselves. Oh, you're all looking at me again.
I love this idea.
Yeah,
know-
I think it's perfect.
I think I'm a little bit aged looking to
No.
pose as a student.
I was told this story at a younger age. 23 Magic Street. We go in as students. We disguise as younger individuals. And we investigate the school.
Can you guys do that? Make me look like my younger self?
I can make you look as young as you want.
Woo-wee.
We slowly, like, I'll take on some of the more athletic. You go for the
The weirdos.
the
Is he a nerd? Is he considered the nerd?
No,
no.
I'm what we call the goth kid.
Because of his love of Gothic architecture.
Love it.
I'm definitely not the nerd.
You could be the animals. You're super into.
Or I could be substitute teacher. I don't have to be.
Yeah, we have some
Can
in
I
the
teach
faculty.
things? I taught my kids how to read and write and all that kind of stuff. So
We get you in as a substitute teacher.
This sounds like an excellent plan, but you should meet with the headmaster. The headmaster could legitimize your attendance.
Yeah. All right.
Unless he's in on it, in which case we blow it all open.
What street is the university on?
I believe it is on Hurdle Road. The main dormitories are there, I believe, between 17 Hurdle Road.
Operation 17 Hurdle Road commences. We'll meet with the headmaster. We will disguise as students. We will infiltrate the school, and we will solve these crimes.
Very well. A fine plan. When would you like to meet with the headmaster?
Immediately.
All right.
Yeah, let's go now.
Lunch first and then.
Yeah. Are you hungry?
I mean, we've been traveling.
Who
I ate
are
a
you,
bunch of
Vale?
sawdust. I'm still coughing up.
Well, perhaps
Wood.
before you head off to meet with the headmaster, there is one other matter that we should handle first. As you do that, I believe it's time for a level up.
Whoa. Oh, man. Level 15.
Yeah.
This team at level 15?
Scary.
Oh.
I'm gonna bash those kids' skulls in.
Wow.
Okay. So what moves what spells, maneuvers, what did you all take?
So Rudy got Arcane Charge, which is she gets to now teleport when she uses her action surge, which is so fun. And then third level spells, I forgot to pick one last level, so I chose Fireball's my third level spell that I had, but I added Counter Spell. It's gonna be fun. So
man.
we'll see.
Sebastian gained access to 8th level spells, so I took Power Word Stun. I think that will be a nice combo for my sword and axe swinging friends here.
These poor mages. Or these wannabe amateurs. These amateurs. And Pluto took 2 new maneuvers. Grappling Strike, which allows him to grapple something that he takes a melee attack on for free. And Goading Strike, which forces the enemy to try to attack him. And if it tries to attack something else, it gets disadvantage.
Sounds good.
Come
Sounds
at me,
good.
bro.
Woo!
Awesome. So with all your new choices, you pass the rest of the day training up, getting everything going again, and then the academy sends someone to notify the headmaster that you will be meeting with them in the afternoon.
All
It's
right.
up to you when to head out.
Oh, can you... Are we long resting? No, we're going...
You've had the benefits of a long rest, so you're fresh.
Can I spend the time? I have 2 attunement items to do. Can I do that within that time as well?
Yeah, and is there anything else that you need equipment-wise?
I want some... I want you to load me up. Load up my ring.
Oh, I should load up. You don't have a ring, do you?
I don't have a ring, but any healing. I have 2 greater healing potions
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can we?
Can we
from
trade?
Rudy.
Can we trade amongst the group?
Yeah,
Brad has, like,
and
9 healing
with
potions.
with River and Eldrick here, if you do need some potions, they can provide you with a care package of 3 greater healing potions each.
Nice.
Each? Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, if we
Academy.
need money, like, I'm pretty sure I stole a bunch of money from Drakkenheim. Like, I have all these, I took like 50 pounds of gold bars when we were in the basement. So if we need to like clean it or turn money around, like, I got us.
Vega
Yeah.
has a lot of money.
Yeah, we have,
While you are in Altbrook, you'll have access to Jandis, Eldrick, and River. So if you do need any, if you would like to purchase any potions or scrolls from them, or if you need access to any spells, it's usually just a matter of a day for them to cook it up for you. So if you need anything like Aqua Expurgo or Aqua Delirium or some other potions of a more specific nature, you may be able to get them from them as well.
The rings can hold 5 levels of
worth of
spells.
spells.
Yeah. All right.
what do you think?
I think I'm going to load mine with 2 shields and a counter spell.
Okay.
What would you like?
Could you give me a haste and something else?
Can I give you stuff?
Yes, you could.
I mean, what do you need?
What do you got? What do you got that Sebastian doesn't have?
I got Fireball. I got Counterspell. I got
Misty Step.
Misty Step. I got Enlarge Reduce. Do you want to be Big Pluto?
Yes. Haste and enlarge reduce would be Amazing.
Okay.
Do you want to do haste?
Yeah, I'll do haste.
Thank you.
And do I just mark it off as like a spell slot?
Well, we're gonna take
No,
a
because
long
you're
rest
doing this
after
during downtime, so it's not a worry. Yeah.
Arcane Lock, always a good one, just in case.
No, you already sold it.
Do you have to concentrate on a concentration spell from the ring?
If whoever casts it from the ring is concentrating on it, so if Paluto casts the spell from the ring, he's concentrating
So you
on
can enlarge, reduce, and haste. But you can enlarge, reduce, and I can haste both of you
Yeah.
while you're enlarged.
That's fun.
Monty, just throw like 8 dragons at us.
No, it's gonna be literally like children learning magic. Are we Anakin?
We don't know yet if they're...
Just giant Paluto, giant Rudy.
Consequences of your actions!
You're not supposed to learn.
Pluto, why are your eyes orange?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's the ring.
So, with visions of the impending giant hasted fighters fresh in your dungeon master's mind, you head from the estate to Altbrook University. The university is made up of several large rectangular buildings, framing a central dome building at the center that rests before a great college green. So it's a great field with a crossed street, like causeway of walkways, trees, and a great fountain in the center of it. And then the green is just off of Hurdle Road. And then across from Hurdle Road is where all of the other student dormitories are surrounding the library. So in total, at Altbrook University, the main sort of locations that comprise the university are the campus green, Hurdle Road, the three department buildings or the lecture halls, the university library, and then the Great Hall itself, which is the central dome building where the convocation chambers, the bell tower, and the headmaster's offices are. The university itself the architecture is gorgeous, with arch facades and tall windows rising up, with red brick buildings, with sort of this white-gray slate rooftops across it. There are spires that decorate all the tip tops of the buildings, and the red bricks that the university buildings are made of is this like lush crimson color that really contrasts with the rooftops. And many of the buildings, the way that they're sort of constructed is there's kind of this arched colonnade that stretches around the ground floor. So you can sort of imagine that that arch colonnade provides like a walkway around the underside of the buildings, and then there are the tall sort of classic university architecture glass windows that look into the libraries, lecture halls, laboratories, studies, and the dormitories. And so all of it is all brought together by this lush green campus area where students are all about. There are students that are hanging out on the lawns, taking their lunch. There are several that are out in the fields painting pictures. There are lectures that are happening outside from the professors, and all manner of students going across. The smell of the fresh breeze of the lawn, as well as both coffee, cigarette smoke, and just a dash of wine hangs in the air, masking the sweat and desperation that characterizes the anxiety of the students around exam times. And so, as you head into the Great Hall to meet with the headmaster, you enter through a lovely set of stairs with grand old oaken doors and are brought up through the atrium to the headmaster's office, which the great bay window of the headmaster's office has a mahogany table, and through the window you can look out over the campus green and see all the activity of all the students below. There's a shuttered window in the bay window, so the headmaster can open up and yell at the students down below quite conveniently.
appropriate.
And the headmaster, Reginald Montgomery, is a wiry, bespectacled man with a green coat, and himself, he is completely bald and clean shaven. So spectacles, bald, otherwise wiry, green coat. And as you enter into his office, he says, "Well, it's not every day that a Caspian prince, a famous mercenary, and a master wizard of the Amethyst Academy step into my office. Welcome to Altbrook University. I am Headmaster Reginald Montgomery, and you are welcome here.
Pleasure to meet
Please
you.
have a seat.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah.
May I offer you any brandy, cigarettes?"
Yes.
Very well. He offers the
Tray of
tray
brandy and cigarettes.
and says, "Well, I am glad you have come. I assume now you've spoken with Jandis Coldweaver."
Yes, and we've concocted a brilliant plan to get to the bottom of these issues.
"I see. Very well. Let's hear it."
Well, Headmaster, with your cooperation, we have several issues that we need to attend to, all of which are happening here at your school. We have a simple plan that's going to figure all of this out.
He adjusts his glasses. "I'm all ears."
Pluto and I are going to pose as students in your school, while Rudy is instated as a substitute teacher. Combined, we will infiltrate the jocks, the weirdos, and the faculty all at the same time to get to the bottom of each of the mysteries happening here at this school. Operation 17 Hurdle Road, we're calling it.
Fantastic. I will talk to my secretary, and I will see that properly drafted course schedules and letters of acceptance are created for each of you. And of course, an informal things. What names will you be going by?
Sebastian Crow. No.
No. You need to.
Needs to be something totally new.
I will be Mortimer Bigsby, young student of this school, not the academy. Young student of not the academy, Mortimer Bigsby.
Very well. Mortimer Bigsby, Esquire.
Yes.
I think my substitute teacher name should be Mrs. Professor Penny Wellred, because I'm well read, and that would make sense for.
Penny Wellred, Mrs. Professor.
Very, very well. Do you have any areas of expertise?
Tactical advantages in battle.
Nothing in the sciences.
I mean, if you call cooking for 10 kids a scientific endeavor.
Home economics.
You are also really good at taking bodies apart.
That is true. I am great at
Biology.
anatomy. Because you have to, if you're gonna, we won't get into the details of how I know
What's
but.
That's something that was inside.
Very well.
That's not outside.
Penny Wellred, Professor of Anatomy.
Jackson.
Anything. You can do it.
Jack Pluto-son.
Yes. Jack Pluto-son.
Jack Pluto-son.
Okay. Very well. I will draft up your letters of acceptances, but how will you furnish your disguises?
I have a unique talent to cast a spell that will change all of our forms. Using my inherent natural magical abilities, I can make it last 16 hours.
I was gonna wear an eye patch because I know this guy that wears an eye patch, and but that sounds way better.
I'll just make us all look young and cool. What do the students generally look like here? I like look out the window and I'm gonna look like that guy, but combined with that guy. Yeah, I got it.
You gotta peek through a window and like look at just watch them for like 20 minutes.
I actually do that. I do that. I walk to the window and observing the students. Is there like a general sort of like garb or
No,
style?
so like many students will just wear like a light jacket or a shirt with suspenders and trousers. Many of them will carry books bound with a belt, like a sort of a book bag or something like that. But the student body is quite diverse in their fashions and styles. Although, unlike say the academy where you'll see a lot of oddballs and weirdos with lots of magic floating around, this is a very mundane looking campus.
How long does the thing last?
I can make it last 16 hours.
What does it normally last?
8, but I'm going to use extended spell just to make sure that we basically get a full day uninterrupted.
I was gonna say we could do like the class schedule and then we can meet back at night
Yeah.
and then not.
It's no harm if I can
Okay.
extend it. Like, it's not a big issue for me, and
Cool.
I think it just gives us a safety blanket of like no mishaps of the spell fading when we're surrounded by students because we stayed late for some reason.
Okay. Very well then. I will give you a bit of the overview of our campus and our facilities here. Come to the window. You'll see here. So, across the way there, these are our main lecture hall buildings. That is Girding's Hall of Mathematics. That is the home of the Scholarly Association of Complex Counting and Advanced Arithmetic. One of the most prestigious groups of mathematical scholars and algebra in the continent. There is the Engelhardt, recently endowed by our good Duke, Engelhardt School of Literature, Letters, and History, home to the Academic League of Mindful Remembrance and Historical Recording. A excellent home of literature and home as well to our Poetic Society, our Poet Laureate, as well as our Writer-in-Residence. Now, here, of course, you're in the Great Hall where our convocation chambers and my offices are. And then that building there, which is, he points to one of the largest buildings, that is the Lena Leuven Laboratory of Medicine and Natural Philosophy. It is the cornerstone of our university pursuits here. I, in fact, myself, before I became headmaster, was one of the doctors of medicine through the Lena Leuven Laboratory. That is where the Guild of Conscientious Practice and Scientific Discovery operates our education program there.
We've heard that one before.
Indeed.
I think we should focus our efforts in and around that building. It is beneficial, perhaps, that we infiltrate all areas of the school, but our focus, everything that we've heard in our rumors, point to the Guild of Conscientious,
Yeah, and that building.
the building over there.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I myself was a member of the Guild of Conscientious Practice and Scientific Discovery for many years. When I took my tenure as headmaster, that association ended. For as headmaster, I must be outside of the organization of the respective departments of the university, although I work very closely alongside the directors of each of the departments. Now, of course, I find that there's many different professors that teach here, and I am not sure who or may not, it may or may not be the entire guild that is complicit in these illicit activities. I have many friends, colleagues, former teachers, and former students that are among the Guild of Conscientious Practice and Scientific Discovery. So, for my own part, I would just like to say that not everyone is necessarily going to be your foe.
We won't blow up everybody. I promise we won't blow up anybody if we
That's-
don't have to.
That said,
Oh.
Oh,
I must confide in you something, something of a concern of mine. Something that has been brought to my attention, but a matter that is of some delicacy, for I do not want to instill panic amongst the student body. But over the past several weeks and months, there have been an increasing number of absences amongst the student population. I say this carefully, for it is not uncommon for our students to leave the programs or drop out. But this year, it has been noticeable, sudden, and in some cases, I have received letters from family or parents of the students who have been absent, asking if they were still attending their classes and still living in the dormitories, only to find that they are gone.
And these absences, are they temporary or are they permanent as far as now?
They appear to be indefinite absences.
question. In our investigation, it helps if the three of us might know what to ask for. If I walk into the school and say, hey, new friends that I'm making, I'm interested in looking into a giant missing abomination from the ocean. I don't know if that's going to fly, but was there a through line on something that all of these people were looking into or studying?
Or maybe we
who
can
all
get the
went
names.
missing?
What if, do you have a list of names that we
list.
can start with? That could be a great place to start on the...
But do we want to walk around the school asking people about the missing people?
We-
We want to infiltrate, not...
I think it's good to have it though, just to
It
make
is
sure.
good to have.
Because I was thinking, like,
I
what if we
will-
find out what clubs they're part of? We check
Right.
out the old dorms that they were with. We start to make friends with their old friends.
True, true.
I can provide you with some of the names.
And we beat them up.
As well, several of my faculty have been organizing more excursions beyond the university grounds for the purposes of research and bringing students with them. Several of them also amongst the Guild of Scientific Practice and Discovery. I can provide you with a list of several of the faculty that are here on campus currently, as well as some of them that are currently on excursions.
That would be very helpful. Thank
Yeah, all of this is... Now, what level of discretion are we going to take? Who else is going to know about this beyond yourself, Dean, or Headmaster?
I don't think anybody else should know.
This will be a matter between us in the strictest confidence.
There is something that we should note, guys. You're going to be hanging out with the jocks. I'm going to be hanging out with the weirdos. You're going to be hanging out with the faculty. We can't sit with each other at lunch. It'll draw suspicion.
Of course.
We're going to have to meet up every night in secret to figure out what we've learned.
Oh, we could go back to the Duke's house or somewhere around there.
Yeah,
I'm sure we
yeah.
have.
I
Are we
can
gonna live off
furnish you
campus?
all with dormitory rooms as well.
Can they be
Can we end up
attached?
as...
Can
Well,
they be...
I'm a staff room, so it might be a bit weird.
There are quarters for the faculty and quarters for the students, yes.
Or at least having a meeting spot.
Yeah, maybe somewhere in the courtyard or something.
perhaps if I can get something from your room, I can just teleport us in there.
All right. Yeah. I'll give you like a lamp.
Sure.
Okay.
And meanwhile, you can make Jack and Mort roommates.
Jack and Morty.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will be staying at the student residences at 17 Hurdle Road, and so Jack and Morty are he gives you all your papers. The secretary's prepared them all.
Does she know?
And Penny Wellred will be a professor of will be an acting professor of anatomy at the school, the Lena Leuven laboratories. And what
Kids are gonna learn something.
What he arranges in your papers is that you will be considered a guest lecturer. Ooh. So you'll be able to speak in, but you will be able to schedule your lectures when you're comfortable running them.
All right.
Right? And so that what will be said is you'll be giving a guest lecture, a demonstration of your choice, and when it's up to you when and how you want to run that, but it'll be up to you when you want to run that. But your guest lectures, that's how we'll frame it. You're here as a guest lecturer. You will give whatever talks. We'll say that you're from Liberio or somewhere of the like, and that you'll give your presentations, your demonstrations. You'll want to check in, of course, with one of our current professors of anatomy, of course. One of our distinguished professors, also currently one of the top members of the Guild of Conscientious Practice and Scientific Discovery, Dr. Everard Freed.
One last question, Dean. Am I actually going to be graded?
No.
Oh, good, because I don't understand anything that's going on in this school. There's no wing of explosions?
There is the hazardous materials wing of the Lena Leuven laboratory.
You are not allowed in there,
Where the
Sebastian.
chemical storage is.
Where do you teach? Actually, thank you. I will want access to that. Do you teach any illusions here?
No, we teach no magic here.
Right.
So,
I'm at a loss.
well, that's a good call out because me and you both being able to do magic, it's not going to look good if we just
all
pull
three
out
of
our
us
tricks.
not being able to use our magic.
If I use my magic,
I guess you
I
have
will
it in
do
your
it
ring.
subtly.
You have some magic.
No magic unless it's secret magic.
What do you mean secret magic? I just think you should avoid.
Well, when we teleport to
yeah.
you, or like if I need to make it look like I'm making chemicals mixed properly, I can like make it go.
Or we are looking for individuals that are interested in magic. Maybe that's your way in.
I can ask around. Hey, you guys know where I can learn a little bit of magic? I think I know how to cast a cantrip or two.
And what programs of study will Jack and Morty be studying? Because this will influence, of course, which courses and which professors I'll have you working on.
I am highly interested in chemistry.
This is a bit of a challenge. One of our good professors of chemistry is currently on an excursion.
Oh.
Yes. I'm afraid that that's the case. Lizanne Bean, one of our premier chemists, along with our colleague Urian Mueller, the two of them have taken several of their students on an expedition alongside, well, there's two expeditions that have headed off into the Octenwald. Urian and Lizanne have led one expedition with several students, as well as two of our other professors, Johanna Veers and Anton Young, have led another. I believe they have divergent research interests, but I can provide you with the students that are traveling with them.
Should I try to catch up with them, or is it off the table for me to learn chemistry?
It's not off the table, but my understanding is that their excursions will be gone for several weeks.
Right.
Yes. Nevertheless, if it is of interest to you, I can provide you with any of the names of the students that have gone on excursions with them, and hopefully they return.
That'll be great.
Now, one thing I remember when you debriefed us on your time looking into this in Liberio is that those names came up when Vale mentioned them. Everett Freed, Anton Young, and Joanna Veers.
You weren't even there. I'm so glid somebody's taking notes.
Vale gave me the rundown. I'm very good with
Yeah, without
sometimes
Vale,
good with
without
names.
Vale.
It's just woo.
Remember Dr. Ada Bronte mentioned their names as they traveled from Dransman and they're into the occult, colossal flora and fauna.
Man, I'm so glad that they okayed for the lowdown.
I left my notes in my other bag.
I figured I should know coming into this that what you all talked about.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I'm sure there's much for you to discuss. I do believe, though, that you should go to your rooms, unpack things, and then begin taking the rest of the campus. I'll make sure that you have your course schedules shortly, and we can decide your programs of study. But chemistry and
Architecture and physical education.
very well. Well, with that, that's where we'll wrap things up as we proceed with our journey. Thank you, as always, to our amazing cast of players, Joe, Kelly, and Jill, for this very unexpected turn of events. I was not expecting the student infiltration.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for just being awesome. He's so cool. And a huge thank you to our Dungeon Master, Monty Martin, for running and setting up the next arc of this campaign.
And a big thank you to all the incredible assets produced by talented artists that we use in our tabletop games. If you're interested in using some of these and supporting some of these amazing creators, go and check them out and use them on your games too. We had the audio from Tabletop Audio, miniatures normally by WizKids, and a lot of the terrain by Dwarven Forge.
Of course, don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring store. You can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes t-shirts. Check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
Our videos and live streams are made possible thanks to the incredible generosity of our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy the work that we do here on YouTube, Twitch, and elsewhere, please consider becoming a patron of our show by following the links down below.
We have a phenomenal Discord community, which is exclusive for our patrons. So if you're hopping onto our Patreon, you can join us on Discord, and you can chat with us about all things D&D, all things Drakkenheim, all things TTRPG, anything you want. Come and hang out on our Discord.
And we got new videos dropping all the time on YouTube as well, so check that out over there.
Be sure to join us next Tuesday when we broadcast the campaign on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time as we decide the fate of Drakkenheim.